I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, and my Bibliomancers. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support for my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Pathlighter here. Welcome to SFF Spotlight episode 37. If you're new to this segment on my YouTube channel, again, this is where I talk about new book news, new cover reveals, new special edition, and new noteworthy release in the adult science fiction and fantasy genre. We are up to episode 37 already, and I think I would just begin immediately. Like always, we have more than 20 topics to cover, even though it hasn't been 2 weeks since my previous episode. And the first one, I will talk about The Sun Eater. The Sun Eater by Christopher Ruocchio just had a big update. So first, trade paperback edition. For those of you who don't know, the Sun Eater series for book 1 until book 3 has been missing physical books to buy for quite a while now. This is because the trade paperback edition is finally coming this month. So Empire of Silence, the trade paperback edition will be released on September 19, and then the second book, Howling Dark, will be released the week after, and then for the week after that, Demon in White will be released. So not long from now, it will be possible to finally get the Sun Eater series in physical copies again. They're not hardcovers, but it is now possible because, as I said, it's kind of crazy that it wasn't possible to buy physical books of the series for quite a while, for the first up to the third book. This is also why a part of the reason why I waited to read Sun Eater until this month. Because if, let's say, I end up liking the Sun Eater series, as many of you said that I will start reading Empire of Silence probably about a week or two from now. And then if I end up liking it and then I post a review on my YouTube channel, I want my viewers to be able to buy a physical copy of the series. And not only that, the Sun Eater also has a new update on the Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 3. The cover art has been revealed, and this one is illustrated by James L. Cook. Basically, the guy who is doing the cover art of the Diamond edition of the Sun Eater series. I think the cover art looks great. I have no idea what it is about. All I know is that this is a collection of short stories in the Sun Eater world. There is no physical copies for this one yet. Right now, it's only digital, but Christopher Ruocchio has mentioned there will be a Diamond Omnibus edition for all the collection of short stories and novellas. I think that will be coming after the Diamond edition of the third book, Demon in White. And that Diamond Omnibus edition will be coming in the year probably at the end of 2024 or at the beginning of 2025. And for the digital edition, the one that is available right now on Amazon, Christopher Ruocchio has mentioned that he will be replacing the cover art of the Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 1 and 2 with an artwork done by James L. Cook to match all the edition available on Amazon digitally. So yeah, as I said, this is a big update for the Sun Eater, and I hope I got them all right. And moving on to the next news, David Dalglish just mentioned that in the year 2025, the first book in his newer series titled the Astral Kingdom Trilogy will be released. There aren't too many information about this one for now, except that this is published by Orbit Books, like always, because David Dalglish, all of his books I think is published by Orbit, except for his self-published fantasy books. But yeah, this one will be published by Orbit Books as well, and this is about 6 immortal siblings that must unite to stop an apocalypse of their own creation. And I have the privilege to actually read one or two chapters, I think, given by David Dalglish about this book. The one that I've read was still in the draft version. Basically, it was still unedited, but it was so good. It was dark, it was grim, and also intense already. And I think this one has the possibility of becoming David Dalglish's best books in his career. Hopefully that will be the case. And then I have 2 more book news to spotlight, and then I will talk about a TV show and anime adaptation. But for now, I'm going to mention that there will be a sequel, a standalone sequel to War for the Rose Throne series by Peter McLean. This news excites me so much because I am a fan of War for the Rose Throne series. It is an absolutely incredible grim dark fantasy series, and there will be a standalone sequel taking place after the end of A Priest of Crowns. The series consists of Priest of Bones, Priest of Lies, Priest of Gallows, and finally Priest of Crowns. And yeah, I look forward to reading this one. I don't know when this will happen, probably next year, but whenever it's ready, I know I will be reading it. And also, there is a bit of a confirmation from the Broken Binding. They will be doing a special edition for the War for the Rose Throne series. So yeah, I am definitely getting that one. Despite how much I love the series, I think it is kind of crazy that I don't have any physical copies of War for the Rose Throne series. So now this is really great news from me. And moving on to the next thing to spotlight, this is about an audiobook of The Lonesome Crown by Brian Lee Durfee. For those of you who were asking me about this, so this one, The Lonesome Crown, is the third and final book in the 5 Warrior Angels trilogy. And back when I read the book, I think at the end of last year, and I think even to this day, the audiobook is still not available. But now Tim Gerard Reynolds, the audiobook narrator, has confirmed he will start working on the audiobook of The Lonesome Crown. So yeah, now you know it is coming. And if you haven't read the 5 Warrior Angels trilogy yet, make sure to give it a try. If you love grim, dark, epic fantasy, it is incredible, unpredictable, and the battle scenes inside this trilogy, they are insanely good. And now let's move on to the next section of SFF Spotlight. Time to talk about some TV show stuff. And the first one, let's start with the good news. Arcane Season 2 has been confirmed to be, I think it will premiere in winter 2024. So it will start at the end of next year. I am a huge fan of Arcane. I've mentioned it plenty of times, even though I don't have any reviews or coverage on Arcane on my YouTube channel, but I really love that show. It is amazing. And finally, after how many years? I think 2 or 3 years, we're finally getting news about the TV show, the sequel to the TV show, and I'm happy we're finally getting it at the end of next year. Hopefully, it will be as good as Season 1. Well, not really. Hopefully, it will be even better than Season 1. Let me know whether you're excited about Arcane Season 2 or not, and are you a fan of Arcane Season 1? And then, let's move on to the next one, and this one isn't really good news depending on your perspective. So Brandon Sanderson recently talked about this on Reddit. So basically, he was really sure there will be a Cosmere Adaptation confirmation happening this year. This was last year, but now he's not so sure anymore because apparently Hollywood is terrified because many fantasy adaptation is underperforming, and even Mission Impossible, the new Mission Impossible movie, is underperforming. And because of that, I think Sanderson pretty much has confirmed there won't be any Cosmere Adaptation confirmation happening this year, or probably for quite a while. We're still not sure about this. And come on, this is just a self-fulfilling prophecy when directors and producers keep producing TV show adaptation that betray the faith of the fans of the books. Of course, it will underperform. Rings of Power, A Witcher, and then with The Wheel of Time, it is so predictable that this is going to happen. Other than House of the Dragons and Game of Thrones, it has been pretty difficult to get an epic fantasy adaptation done right on television. And even for Game of Thrones, we know what happened to the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. So far, House of the Dragons is still doing pretty well, and I hope that will be the case for the remaining of the series because they have a lot of materials to adapt well. As I said, when stuff like The Witcher's, Rings of Power, and also The Wheel of Time, when the adaptations stray away from the original materials too far until it has become kind of like a fan fiction, you know that fans will, they will talk bad about the series. It is guaranteed. So it is all self-fulfilling prophecy, and saying that Hollywood is scared right now, it is so baffling to me. Just adapt things as faithfully as possible. You know, I have a lot of thoughts on this. Probably I will talk about this in a separate video, but yeah, that's the news from Brandon Sanderson about Cosmere Adaptation for now. And moving on to the next topic, before I start talking about Kickstarter edition, I want to spotlight 2 things, basically a free book and also a special edition being discounted. And the first one is The Heart of Stone by Ben Galley will be free all month this month. This is a standalone novel. I think this one isn't a part of any series. I haven't read this one, but my co-blogger has actually read and really enjoyed The Heart of Stone. So I will leave the link to how to get the free book in the description down below. And for the next thing to spotlight, this will be regarding Empire of the Damned by J. Kristoff. So the Barnes & Noble edition, the special edition for Empire of the Damned Barnes & Noble edition, which will features, I think, a fully colored end paper by Bon Ordwig. This one will be discounted until September 8th. 25% discount until September 8th. So by the time this video premiere, yeah, you don't have a lot of time to actually order this one if they're still available. Do note that the US edition is the one with the cover art done by Jason Chan, not the one with the cover art done by Kirby Rosanes. And now let's move on to the next section of SFF Spotlight. Time to talk about some Kickstarter projects. First, we have confirmation of an upcoming Kickstarter adaptation for this superhero novel. This is for Alpha Clash: The Awakening by AJ Light. I'm in the middle of reading this one right now, slowly but sure, but surprisingly it's quite enjoyable. I've come to realize that I don't read a lot of superhero fiction, and I think that should be redeemed. Do note that this is not the final Kickstarter campaign edition. As I said, this is an advanced edition copy, and the Kickstarter campaign edition will be more gorgeous and it will come with more perks other than this one. I think the cover art looks really great, and the story is about a massive explosion has rocked certain labs in Geneva, triggering a global phenomenon. People all around the world, now known as alphas, awaken with extraordinary powers and an insatiable desire for battle. As the clash between the superpowered beings escalates, the world teeters on the brinks of chaos. Amid the turmoil, a mysterious champion emerges, forged by countless alpha clashes across the ages and determined to avert catastrophe for Earth. Yet lurking in the shadows are other forces eagerly observing to see which alpha will emerge victorious. Uncover the captivating origins of Alpha Clash, the sensational graphic novel and trading card game that has taken the entertainment world by storm. With a rich and immersive universe created by a team of visionary storytellers, Alpha Clash stands as a thrilling multimedia phenomenon for fans of spellbinding lore. And so far, I think the writing is pretty easy to read, it is engaging, and I look forward to finding out how the book will turn out by the end. But the Kickstarter campaign for this one, for the hardcover edition, will goes live, I think, at the 19th of September. And moving on to the next Kickstarter campaign to spotlight, this will be for the Ragnarok Prophecy Deluxe Edition, Volume 1 until Volume 3 by Matt Larkin. So this special edition, this special deluxe edition, will combine every series in the Ragnarok era into one series. Yeah, all of them. All of the series in the Ragnarok era is done by Matt Larkin, and the deluxe edition of the Ragnarok Prophecy will have a new cover art done by Rachel St. Clair, interior artworks by Andrew Maleski, and of course mapped by my favorite cartographer of all time, Francesca Berald. I have a feeling that this edition will turn out pretty gorgeous, and I'm a fan of Norse mythology epic fantasy. Definitely will be reading and keeping an eye out on this one. And the Kickstarter campaign for the Ragnarok Prophecy will go live within this month as well. And moving on to the last Kickstarter campaign to spotlight today, this will be for the Dragons Rising Omnibus Deluxe Collector's Edition by Alisha Klapheke. Yeah, this one will have an interior artworks by Omer Burak Onal, and the Kickstarter campaign will go live on the 12th of September, so within next week. This Dragon Rising Omnibus Collector's Edition will collect all 5 books in the Dragon Rising series into one omnibus hardcover edition. Just like the Ragnarok Prophecy, I haven't read this one as well, but I think it is worth taking a look if you love Dragon Rider fantasy. For all 3 Kickstarter campaigns I just mentioned, all of them I think haven't gone live yet, but you can click the link in the description down below to check out the Kickstarter page to be notified when they goes live. So that's it for the section of Kickstarter campaign. Now let's talk special editions. And for the first one, let's talk about this new bi-monthly subscription company. This is for the Sword of Kaigen special edition by Page and Wick. Now this is not the Sword of Kaigen Raid Mark edition. I'm still waiting for that one. I have no idea why it is taking so long to arrive to my place, but for those of you who miss your chance on getting that special edition for the Sword of Kaigen Raid Mark edition, well, there is a new Sword of Kaigen special edition coming, and it is published by Page and Wick. Remember that this is a bi-monthly subscription, so if you're subscribed to their page, to the Page and Wick subscription program in September, you will get the Sword of Kaigen in November, because the Sword of Kaigen is their November box. The preview so far looks so beautiful. It is practically impossible for me to resist getting a copy of the Sword of Kaigen Page and Wick edition. I just love this book so much, okay? And I hope there won't be too many special editions for this one, because I am a bit irresponsible when it comes to the Sword of Kaigen's special edition. So yeah, we will see how it goes. For the next 2 special edition I want to spotlight, this will be for Subterranean Press books. And the first one is for The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. This is the 3rd book in the Poppy War trilogy. The cover art and the interior artworks for the special edition for The Burning God has been revealed, and I think they look absolutely great. The cover art and interior artworks are done by Awaki or Angela, and just like the Poppy War, also the Dragon Republic, it will match in design and everything. It looks beautiful, although I think it is impossible for me to get a copy of this one. Not only because the prices are expensive, but I do not think it is possible to get a copy of The Burning God unless you have a copy of the Dragon Republic and also the Poppy War Subterranean Press edition. but I just want to showcase this beautiful book on this SFF Spotlight. And the same thing also applies to the next News to Spotlight. And this will be for The Great Change and Other Lies by Joe Abercrombie. Yeah, apparently we have a new collection of short stories taking place in the world of the First Law world, specifically regarding the Age of Madness trilogy, a little hatred, the trouble with peace, and finally the wisdom of crowds. Just like Jade Shards by Fondali Subterranean Press Edition, this one will have 4 short stories collected into one volume. So it's probably around 100 pages long, and the cover art is so beautiful. It is once again illustrated by John Anthony Di Giovanni, the one who is illustrating and also doing the interior artworks of all the Age of Madness trilogy Subterranean Press Edition. Again, I'm not sure whether it is still possible to get a hardcover special edition of this one or not, but I know that it will be possible to get the ebook edition. So if you're someone like me who want to read more stories in the Age of Madness trilogy, even though they're just short stories, this is your chance. And speaking of Joe Abercrombie, the next thing to spotlight is still related to the First Law world. So this is about the Curious King edition of the Blade itself. So the Curious King, they have released an update saying that the Blade itself will be shipped probably at the end of this month. Either that or the beginning of next month. I am so excited about this one. The special edition of the Blade itself look absolutely incredible. It's really possible that this might become the best special edition on my bookshelf. But we will see, and I'm excited about it. And also they have revealed one of the interior artworks for their special edition, their upcoming special edition of Hyperion by Dan Simmons. This one will have an artwork done by Jamie Jones, one of the best artists in the fantasy and sci-fi genre. And I think this one out of more than 20 art of the pencil art features here looks incredible already. Cannot wait for this one. And I look forward to hearing more news regarding the Blade itself, the 5th season, and also Hyperion, the special edition by Curious King. So yeah, that's a lot of special editions, right? And I am still not done. There are still about 2 or 3 more special editions to spotlight, and the next one is regarding Murtagh by Christopher Paolini. This is the Inkstone book special edition for Murtagh. Now, I'm not sure when I will be reading this one because I only read, I think, Eragon, only the first book in the Inheritance cycle, so I have no idea when I will be reading this one. I know that this one takes place after the end of the Inheritance cycle. But the special edition by Inkstone book looks really great. I love the dragon on the foil design, and also the Broken Binding will be producing their own special edition for Murtagh as well. So that's really something to consider when you're going to buy, I don't know, maybe only one special edition, or maybe you want to buy both of them. And let's proceed to the next one. This is regarding the standard hardcover edition for the Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. Now, this is not the Kickstarter special edition, okay? This is the standard edition, but it's getting a Waterstone special edition treatment. Basically, it will have the cover art done by Tran Nguyen, and then it will come with the spray edges. So if you want a more affordable special edition without all the interior artworks by Alia Chen, you can get yourself a copy of Yumi and the Nightmare Painter Waterstone edition. I think it still turns out pretty well. It's unfortunate that this one won't have the interior artworks by Alia Chen, but the cover art by Tran Nguyen is amazing. And the last special edition to spotlight today, this will be regarding the Toon and Fairweather's newest special edition or newest book, and this one will be related to Demon's Soul. Yeah, Demon's Soul video game by From Software. The title of this book will be Demonic Archive. This one will be detailing and covering the mythology of Demon's Soul, and you know that I am a fan of From Software games. I have been playing their games ever since Demon's Soul. Played all of the Souls game, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and of course Elden Ring. Now, I'm not sure whether when I will be getting a special edition of this one or not, because not only they are expensive, apparently they don't even ship to my place. So yeah, I don't think it is possible for me to get a copy of this one. But if you are a fan of the From Software games franchise and you want to buy a special edition of this Demonic Archives, then make sure to check out their website. I think the details looks incredible. So that's it for the section of special edition. Let's move on to cover reveals. I only have 3 cover reveals to spotlight today, and for the 2 of them, both of them will have a cover art done by Felix Ortiz. And the first one is for Sin and Sorrow by Michael Fletcher. This will be the third book in the City of Sacrifice series. I've read the first 2 books, and I'm not sure whether my memory will be enough to actually attempt reading the third book or not, because it has been quite a while since the second book was first released. But the cover art looks, again, it's Felix Ortiz, it looks pretty damn good. And also, if the timing is right, I look forward to reading this one someday. But first, my priority is to finish Manifest Delusion series by Michael R. Fletcher. And the next cover reveal to Spotlight will be for Pathlighter by Rob Leigh. I believe this is a debut novel. I found out about this from Felix Ortiz's page on Facebook. I'm not really sure what the story is about, but the cover art of this self-published fantasy book looks really great. And the last cover reveal to Spotlight today will be for the Arcane Cultivator by Harmon Cooper. The cover art is done by Harmon Cooper's wife, Sol Cooper. And I must say, the cover art looks really good. I haven't read anything by Harmon Cooper yet. Harmon Cooper released a lot of books, so many books, and although I own plenty of them, I still haven't got the chance to actually read any of them. I have to fix that someday, and I think this one, Arcane Cultivator, is a deck building RPG fantasy novel. Not sure what that's really about. I'm actually kind of confused what deck building is, but again, the cover art looks great, and I think I will take a look at this one after I finish reading some of his books. And moving on to the last section and the last topic of today's SFF Spotlight, this will be for noteworthy release, and this is about A Time of Dragons, Once There Were Heroes by Philip C. Quaintrell. So yeah, this is the first book in the Time of Dragons series, and this is a prequel series to the Echo Saga. This one taking place, I think, thousands of years before the events of the Echoes Saga. But of course, just like the Echo Saga that begins with the rise of the Ranger, this one is again a Dragon Rider epic fantasy. I had a good time reading the Echo Saga last year. All 9 books in the Echo Saga, I read all of them last year. So yeah, I think that's quite an investment to a series, and I hope Once There Were Heroes will be even better. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of SFF Spotlight episode 37. That's a lot of news. I hope many of this are beneficial to you, and of course, just like always, do let me know which news here excites you the most, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, all the links are attached in the description down below as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me today. As always, I just want to say thank you so much, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.